What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Shoe U. I'm Alex. As you guys know, we have some unfinished business with these guys. In addition to that, we are doing our first ever final exam, which is an in-depth review of a shoe. So you guys are getting two for the price of one. I'm just going to go ahead and start it off with the Nike Adapt BBs. As you guys know, if you watched my last video, it was very anticlimactic with how great it started and then how abruptly things came crashing down. I spoke to someone with Nike today. It was an adventure. I spoke to various people at Nike, I should say, and about 2 hours were wasted this morning with me being transferred from one line to another and phone calls getting disconnected. I don't really care to relive it. The bottom line is I have to send these back to Nike, which is incredibly disappointing because I spent a lot of money on them, and to them to have to go back and me potentially not get these shoes now is incredibly frustrating because, as you guys know, these sold out pretty quickly when they were restocked. So I'm very disappointed and sad that I've sent them back. So it's one of two scenarios that will happen. First, they can repair these and I get them back, which would be great. The other scenario is I will get a full refund on my credit card. So I'm sure the wife wants me to get that full refund on a credit card so I can take her out for a nice dinner or two or three. Or else I'll be getting these back fixed. So don't really know what's going to happen. Maybe I'll give you guys another update, but for now that is where we leave these guys. We are sending them back. Alright, now for part 2 of the video, which is the main attraction. Our first ever final exam of a shoe. And on today's final exam, we are talking about the Nike Kyrie 6, the latest addition to the long-running Kyrie franchise. And for this, guys, we have it broken down into 3 different categories. Traction, how the shoe fits, and then price efficiency. I think in today's day and age, where there are so many different shoes priced, from as cheap as about $110 all the way up to $200, it's important to find that middle ground and know what you're getting for what you're paying for. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and dive in and talk about the traction. It's a very, simple pattern, this weird eye-looking shape up here. Traction was great on these guys. I had a pair of the Kyrie 5s and I was incredibly disappointed with how they performed. I was sliding all over the place and I was just really discouraged because the Kyrie 4s were one of my favorites. And then for them to step back last year so significantly, the traction category left a bad taste in my mouth. That is all out the window with these guys. They were fantastic on great courts, poor courts, you name it. These guys perform well. With the white colorway, with the white on the bottom, I should say, I did have to wipe a little bit, but not too much. As you guys can see, the wear and tear has been pretty minimal on these guys. They have worn out, decently well, and that was definitely a positive for me. So the traction, guys, give it 4 stars. So element 2 is the fit. How does the shoe fit to your foot? Did I say right? Yeah, fit to your foot. Had to think about that for a sec. It's definitely snug and it's a tighter fit. The Kyrie 5 was a start in that direction, I think. But generally speaking, the Kyrie line has been typically a lot more narrower than other shoe lines. I definitely had an adventure putting these on a couple times. However, it was good, and snug. I think that's what you want in a shoe. You don't want it to be too loose when you're playing, right? You want that good, secure lockdown when you're on the basketball court wanting to make a hard cut or coming off screens, planting your foot, going one way or another. These guys probably have one of the best fits, I think, out there on the market, especially for guards that have, a lot of maneuvering and a lot of, cutting and slashing, that type of stuff. These shoes, I think, are engineered more towards those type of players. That's great. It was fine for me. Not the best experience, but not the worst experience either. It was just kind of tedious at first, taking these on and off. But once they were broken in, these definitely molded very nicely to my feet. So now the final category is price efficiency. These guys retailed at $130, right? So I call them middle tier pricing. And you get, I think, a decent amount for what you pay. You have a huge Air Zoom Turbo unit here in the forefoot, which you feel. That was introduced in the Kyrie 5s. It carries over now to the 6s and does well. The curved outsole, I think, helps out with the traction a little bit. There wasn't anything really like this in the Kyrie 5s, and I think that's something they modified a little bit too. You get this forefoot strap, which, it doesn't do a whole lot for me. I think that's more visual stuff. I didn't feel any more secure or less secure with this, in terms of lockdown. all in all, guys, I think you will get a fair amount for the price you pay. This is probably among the better performers, you know, upper third for 2019, 2020. Good shoe, really, you know, up and improved from the Kyrie 5s. Would I put them in the same category as the Kyrie 4s? Probably not, but they're not as bad as the 5s. So they're a good middle ground between the last few shoes. Alright guys, so in closing, the Kyrie 6, I definitely recommend it. I think you guys will be happy with the shoe. Might be a little bit too narrow for some feet. For others, they'll absolutely love how tight the shoe fits. Some also might get annoyed with this strap right here. It is what it is, guys. I think this is one of the better Nike offerings we have right now in the basketball market. I know a lot of attention is paid to the KDs, the PGs, but don't sleep on these Kyries, man. They are really good performers. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys have played in them, what you thought. Did you enjoy your experience with them or did you not? Until next time, guys, class is out. The final examination on the Kyries. They passed with flying colors. Take it easy.